everyone, and welcome to the last pre-SudokuCon stream. Sorry to stop the excellent vibing music, but alas, we have to do it because we have puzzles to solve. As always, we shall begin with the most voted on puzzle. I should remind you that when we get back from SudokuCon, there will be the octa-quadri setting challenge puzzles. So many have submitted, but if you intend to make an octa-quadri puzzle, you still have time, but you should look to submit it soon, within the next week, because it should be a week from today that we're starting doing the submissions to the octa-quadri setting challenge. So again, highly encourage you to do so. So I think I'm giving a talk term, and I think that is live streamed, but it won't be live streamed on this channel. It'll be live streamed on the SudokuCon channel, and I don't know exactly how that's going to work. But what I have promised is I have promised that I will find a time to do my talk on stream at some point. So if you missed the talk, and the VOD isn't available for whatever reason, then I will still eventually do the talk here to talk about all the puzzly stuff. So that you won't miss out on any zetamath goodness if you are unable to do that. Okay, so we have here a Build Your Own Killer by Playmaker. It is not one of Playmaker's horrible Build Your Own Killers where the cages can overlap and move diagonally and stuff like that have traumatized me in the past. Hey, Zilch. We have that. I should say this puzzle was voted for by David, Russ, Crispy, David, Luda, and Doomdiat. This is the oldest of a 41-way tie, so a few people said this last time, but if you have voting privileges, that is, if you support at the windmill level or above, then I highly recommend that you go ahead and vote for some stuff, because your vote can be quite powerful if you are breaking a 41-way tie, or a 40-way tie it will be after this, although if the last stream is any indication, there's a pretty good chance that next stream I'll start with the same puzzle until someone eventually points it out, because if you missed it, last stream somehow I managed to do a puzzle that I'd done not like 2 weeks prior, and made it through, and kept being like, this feels kind of familiar, but I think it's different. Hey, Kajito, welcome. We will not dox you, I promise. Alrighty, so let us, it was new to most of, apparently. All right, so so we have normal Sudoku rules. Every caged cell with a clue is used to construct a real killer cage, an orthogonally connected area of cells that is 1 cell wide. Every cage must contain exactly 1 clue, and the size number of the cage must be written into its corresponding clued cell. Cells don't branch and also don't overlap. Cages don't branch and also don't overlap. No 2x2 area within the grid can entirely contain caged cells. Within a cage, digits don't repeat and they sum to the clue. A cell that contains an arrow doesn't belong to any cage, and its digit shows how many cells away between it and the first cage cell found in that arrow's direction. For example, if row 8, column 5 is a 3, then row 8, column 8 must belong to a cage, while these must not. Note that in such a case, row 8, column 9 may or may not belong to a cage. Okay. This is a very Zeta-friendly puzzle. I must say. In terms of rules, I don't think it gets much more Zeta-friendly than Build Your Own Killer. So I guess we get to start with a 2-3 pair in these cages, because note, this clued cell contains the size of the cage. So although you can make 9 in 1 cell, it would be a 9, and I can't put a 9 in there because then the clue would be a 45, and that's not really very good. This is at least a 6, and it's not a 9, I suppose I should say. Hey, Carabet, I'm guessing I get to meet you soon, because I feel the odds are good that you're going to be at SudokuCon. given that I believe you're the one who started the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start giving cages colors, just recreationally. Yes, it'll be very exciting. Oh, and Cogito will be there too. Excellent. I wonder if we're on the same flight. So we're flying out of Minneapolis, and I think you're from Minnesota, if I recall correctly. I can't. Oh no, I can. No, I can do 19 and 3. That's really annoying. Let's see. We're having fun just picking colors that look good. I feel like this cage, it also wants to be red. This one is feeling a little green. Oh, okay. You're in Des Moines. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So the fellow Iowan, but not quite there. Got it. Okay. We'll make this also orange. And so I was going to say, and this also blue, but that doesn't sound like a good choice. This can also be green. Sure. Why not? We can adjust if need be. These two, yeah. Ours is, yeah, we have to leave the house at 2 a.m., I think, to get to ours, because our flight is also at something like 6 a.m., but it's at 6 a.m. and it's 3 hours away from here. Something like that, that's ridiculous. Okay, so these are each at most 4. However, if these were all gray, then these would be a problem. In that then these would both be the same number. So fortunately we have a taxi driver doing the driving. So we'll hope the taxi driver drives safe, and I'll try and be asleep in case anything happens. So these have to be a 1-2 pair is the upshot of all of that, because well, they can't possibly be. Oh, wait, could these be a 2-3 pair? Sorry, I think these could be a 2-3 pair. Because I could have, if just that cage, or if just this cell was part of a cage, this would be a 1 and that would be a 3. Sorry, they could be a 1-3 pair. They can't be a 2-3 pair. Okay. If this digit isn't a 1, then it's going to be at least a 4. So this can only be 1, 4, 5, I suppose, which is kind of interesting because those are all... yeah, if these are both parts of cages, then that one can be a 2 and that one a 1, I think. That was my first thing I visualized, at least. I do have to keep in mind the no 2x2 rule, but I don't think I'm violating the no 2x2 rule by doing something like that. These can't all be cage, of course. Let's see. Yeah. The 9 cages, I guess the 9 cages, only 3 cell 9 cages have to have that. There's only one 3 cell 9 cage over here, of course. Let's see. The 19 has to be at least done in 3, and I think someone said this is 3, 4, or 5. I'm assuming I can do 19 and 5 with a 5, but that's always a good question to ask yourself about life, the universe, and everything. Let's see. I do agree that if there's a 3 on one arrow, there's a 1 on the other. So there's always a 1 in one of these 2 cells, I guess is what Todd is saying. But couldn't the 9 cage that goes into row 1... Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So basically, Jay Dyer is saying, I can't do this. Because if I do this, it has a few consequences. One of which is that it, of course, makes this digit a 3. But it then makes these a 1-2 pair. And that's a real problem, because now I've got to make this a 3, and these numbers are at least a 4 and a 5, and that does not sum to a very 9 kind of number. So in fact, Jay is arguing that this cell is not part of a cage, because if it was, it would be part of a 9 cage, and these would be a 1-2 pair, and the 9 cage would sum to at least 12, which is a bad habit for 9 cages to get into. Hey, Isabella, how are you doing? Although I think actually that's not what Jay was even saying. I think Jay actually was noticing that because of the 2-3 pair in the box, if there's a 1 in either of these cells, then these digits are all not 1, 2, 3. But it's same either way, I guess. So yeah, so these are a 1-3 pair is the short version. Ooh, you have chocolate cake. Okay, I am jealous of the chocolate cake. So this is not a 3. And therefore, this cell is red, because this number now is at least 4. Oh, I did say what you were saying the first time. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is 4 or 5. Oh, this 22 assuredly needs to be at least 4 cells, because if it were 3 cells, it would have a 3 in it. Well, I mean, even without this, the 22 needed to be at least 4. Now, I think you can't do 22 and 6, actually, because 22 and 6 wouldn't have a 6. 22 and 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So that is the classic deduction. So we've actually got a 4-5 pair and a 1-3 pair. So I guess that means that, yeah, these cages have a total of 9 cells in them. Whatever that may be. Oh, I think this could technically be a 7. I think you're right. If this is, if actually this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think you're right. This could technically be a 7 if all of these are gray. 7 in box 2, row 1. Right. Because we've said, yeah, right. These numbers aren't low. So, wait, could this be the low number? Like if we did something like this, could we put a 6 here and do like 6, 2, 1? No, sorry, we couldn't do 6, 2, 1. Right. Okay, yes. Okay, I now agree. With Martin's point, which is that up here, these numbers, if I just write in what they can be, these are not from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are each from 6, 7, 8, 9. But one of them is in a cage. And so which is the one that's in a cage? It's got to go with the 2, because I can't put these numbers with a 3. Because if I did, it would be a 3, 6, which is then not a 3-cell cage. So one of these 2 exactly is a 7, which means that's not a 7 for what it's worth. So one of these 2 cells over here is a 2. Oh yeah, that 7 assuredly sees. So we have removed 7 successfully from this cell that I didn't at first even realize could be a 7, even though it could be. This is certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4. There's got to be a cage in here somewhere. Yeah, these can't be part of a cage, Jay Dyer points out, because the cage can't have a 2x2, which I realize I have been trying to do this whole time with this cage. This cage can't have a 2x2, and it can't branch, which it would do if I took this cell, because there's no cell I can add to this that doesn't make a 2x2 or branch. So those are both gray. This is at most 5, I suppose. I'm not sure I really am keen to write that down. I will write down that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, or a rainbow, whatever you like. 31 is at least 5. It can't be 8. So I think this is actually only 5 or 6 now. So you can't do it in 4. I think you could do it in 5, right? My killer calculator friends will tell me if you can't actually do it in 5. But 7 is gone, and you can't do it in 8 because 8 cells would leave an outie of 14, which is too many. I guess only because we're counting these things up here, I'll do that. Oh, yeah. That's smart. Garion points out if this is a 3, we know the 3 cells it takes are these 3, but I'm not allowed to do that because that creates a 2 by 2, which is one of the rules. So this is, in fact, not a 3. It's a 2, which makes this a 3, and we can bring out Zach for the 2 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop, dooka, 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 ba-doop-ba-doop, dooka, 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 ba-doop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Oh, it has been pointed out that 12 cages start with 3 or 4, and I didn't even notice there were 12 cages. Agree. Okay, so now the 2 we said went up here to grab the 7, which makes that a 1 and that a 3. This really does feel like an old school Zeta puzzle with the 7,000 rules that are in it. We know this cell now doesn't belong to anything because the 3 cage sure isn't taking it. I'm mentally playing around with what can happen with these cages. I'm not quite sure exactly what is happening yet. Oh, this could just barely be part of a cage if it looked like that, I think. Can this cell possibly be part... I guess it could be part of purple. I don't think it can be part of green. Oh, maybe it even can, actually. Let's see. This 32 is going to have to be pretty big as well. And it has to be pretty big without creating things. So this 3, what's it going to go with? It's either going to go with 1, 5 or 2, 4 is maybe something I should think about. If it went with 2, 4... Yeah, the 2 would have to go, in fact, I guess... Oh, I guess the 2 could sneak off there. Okay, so Isabella says if this isn't purple, then purple grows like this, just because it has no other choice. But now the 19 cage can't get to its required 4 cells without creating a 2 by 2. So this is always purple. And so this is either 1, 2, 4, or 5, but of course it's not a 2 because there's a 2 in the box. Let's see. Oh, yeah, if this cell is purple, Jim points out that's a big problem. Because if this cell is purple, now the red cage is also sort of locked off. I guess I should probably put a grid on this, huh? So this cell isn't purple, but it actually can't be red either, I guess. I think this cell actually has to be gray. Because if this cell belongs to any cage, Oh, wait, maybe it could be red. And no, that would break orange. I think I can probably argue the problem is that breaks the orange cage if I do that. But I don't especially want to go too far down this rabbit hole. Oh, maybe I could. No, I can't do that either. So we run out of some variety of things. Okay. Well, this number can't be 4 or 5 anymore. So this number now is only 1 or 2. Let's take the lower hanging fruit. Sorry. Can't be 3. It can't be 3, right. Yeah, I'm trying to make some intelligent deduction about this, but I can't quite get there. This 1 or 2. I think this 1 or 2 is trying to tell me that the 19 cage isn't size 5. Because a 19 cage in size 5 would have to contain a 1 and a 2. And is there any way the 19 cage can get out of that 1 and 2? Maybe it could do that, although that looks really bad to me, but maybe it's possible. Okay, so Garion is saying I can readily break this being gray. Because if this is a gray, of course the red cage... yeah. Okay, yes. If this is gray, then this is a color, but then the red cage looks like this, and I've created a 2x2. Yes, okay, so this can't be a 2, because this would make this, if this is a 2, it would make this gray and that a color, which would lock out both of these cells from being part of the 19 cage, which has to be at least 4, is maybe a nicer way to say it. So that's the 4 or 5. So the other purple cell is a 1 or a 2. For what it's worth. So if it was here, it would be a 2. If it was here, it could probably still be a 1 or a 2. This is a something. We can also just do Sudoku, if we must, to say that this is definitely part of something. It's not part of purple, for sure. Can it possibly be part of anything other than green? That I'm not sure. I think I said it, Pink Maple, but I don't think I proved it. I don't think it was actually true. I think I at the time thought it was true, but I think there's a way that it works where if red does something like this and pink does something like that, then maybe... or maybe that was like where I argued that it was going to break orange if I wasn't careful. Okay. And then I drew in the grid, but the thing... because I know... One thing I do know... I don't know how to draw on this that it will look the least bad. I do know that this cell assuredly is not purple. And I know that cell assuredly is not purple. Not that I think there was any real risk of that. I think there's a kind of messy look ahead that this can't go that way, but I'm kind of trying to avoid it at the moment if I can, because I think I have to do more look ahead. Anyway, this cell's definitely gray because of the Sudoku on the 1 there. So I was just looking at it. Does that tell me something exciting about the yellow? I think that cell has to be yellow. Because if yellow goes this way, doesn't the orange end up breaking? Maybe not quite. If it bends away like this and this bends away like that, we might be okay. Okay, this can no longer... Oh, no, this could still be a 4. What we've actually proven is it can't be a 3. Martin just wants me to rainbow this cell because we know it's in a cage owing to the 1 clue. And now if I make this purple, now it's clear. Okay, that makes me not have to reference the orange cage at all, which I like. Because the thing I didn't like is I didn't like arguing that eventually broke the orange cage, but I don't have to now. If that's purple, then now the 19 cage is just done. So this is the last purple cage, and it is a 1, or last purple cell, and it's a 1 or a 2. I don't know. Maybe I should make the borders of the cage gray. I don't know. The borders, when they overlap the borders, there's not really a great solution that I'm aware of. I could make them this sort of greenish color. That might look best, actually. Like that. So this is gray, points out Isabella, because this would make a 2x2 if this were part of something. And so therefore this is orange because the orange has to go somewhere. And therefore this is a 4 because there's no shape that it can make where it's 5 now. And so that's a 5. Is it true that red is finished? Okay, so now this cell can't be purple. Because if this cell is purple, then my purple would have to continue this way, and that would create a 2x2. So, at the very least, that cell is not purple. And if that cell's not purple, then that cell is purple. The non-branching of red, Isabella points out, guarantees that that cell is red. Do I know what digits are in red now? Because it's got to be 4 and 3 other digits that sum to 15. Oh, right. This cell can't be orange because orange can't branch. Right. And orange would definitely branch if this were orange. Right. This puzzle has a lot of rules. Okay, so this is either a 2, 6, 8, or 9. Is the punchline of all of that. Okay, orange can't take this cell, because if orange takes this cell, then orange now has to come down here, and then it's done. So if orange doesn't take that cell, then orange definitely takes this cell, which means this cell is nothing. Orange also can't take this cell, and therefore orange has to take that cell, because again, it has to get to at least 5. That now makes this cell nothing. Green, therefore, has to grow, which makes this cell nothing, which makes this cell orange. Oops. Makes that cell orange. Makes that cell green. Okay. Gives us lots of coloring all of a sudden out of nowhere. Okay, so if this comes here, then this is 4, 7, 8, 9 exactly, which is kind of interesting. Okay, this arrow now is only 1 or 3. Those are the only options that now possibly fit in this cell. Garion points out that this cell looks at a 1, so now that cell is gray. Very good. And therefore this cell is purple, and therefore this cell is gray. Oh, right. This has to be a cage, and the only cage it can be because of the 1, right? We should rainbow things when we know we can rainbow things. This is something, and the only thing it can be, Isabella points out, is green. Okay, which makes that gray, which makes that green, which makes that gray to avoid a 2x2, which makes that purple. So we can highlight our whole pentomino here, our whole domino here. Green continues to grow. Like that. Oh, I got a little excited. The outies of this, I suppose, sum to 23. So these 3 cells sum to 22. So as 3 cells summing to 22, they can either be 5, 8, 9, which they can't be, or they have to be 6, 7, 9 is the other option. Did I do that math right? And I think there's only 2 options. People can tell me if I have correctly done my killer math. Well, this one's not a 9. I'm sure of that. So this is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a rainbow of some description. So that is a 5. Oh, and that in fact actually tells me how it resolves, at least in as that. That is a 4 and a 2. These are a 7, 9. Okay, that... Oh, no, I was going to say that places a 7 over here. It does not place a 7, but there's a 7 in one of these 2 cells, I guess. Oh, there is a 4 in box 3 by Sudoku. I agree. So these are 2, 8, and the other one. 3, I think. This could be a 1 cage. That could be a 1 cage. Okay, this can no longer be 2. So this can only be 1 or 4. Interestingly, if it's 4, it makes that 1. So one of these 2 cells is always 1, if you want the most ridiculous deduction ever. Okay, so these need to sum to 15, and so the smallest digits available are 2 and 5, so I can't include a 9. I agree. So it's always the case that one of these 2 is a 9. So this cell is a 6 or an 8. Oh, is this cell only a 6? Or, sorry, only an 8. This cell's now a naked 8, right? It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not 6, 7, and it's not 9. So yeah, this cell is a naked 8. Which also places an 8 up there. which makes these a 6, 9, and places that 2 up there. Okay, and so now these two cells now sum to 13, and they're not 4, 9, and they're not 5, 8. So they have to be 6, 7, and so we know the order. Very nice, very nice. This digit should be a write-in. I think it's a 9. These two digits are something and something. I'm sure Mark knows. They're a 5 and an 8. Okay, good, good, good. These three cells sum to 31 minus 13 for whatever it is worth. Oh, this digit, by the way... Oh, no, sorry. I was going to say something wrong. Yeah, these three digits sum to 18, so their average is 6. They probably need to have a 9 in them, because if I don't put a 9 in them, the most they could be is 7, 6 something, and that's not enough. Okay. David is looking at this cell and saying, what is it? And David says, if this is not a 1, then it's at least a 5. And there's no way to make it at least a 5 without creating this 2 by 2. So yeah, so this is a 1, which means that is a 4, which means this is gray, and this is rainbowy. Oops, sorry, I missed green in my rainbow. Okay, so now that finally tells me that this green doesn't go that way. It has to escape, in fact, that way. Okay, so now this is a 1. And this is gray. And this is a 1 by Sudoku, of all things. Oh, one of these two is a 1 by Sudoku, but I don't know which one. These are a 5-6 pair. Oh, no, not quite. But one of them is definitely a 5. Oh, no, that's not even necessarily quite true. I kept thinking these can only grow here and that there's some sort of geometry trick going on with that, but I don't think it's quite true yet. Yeah. Todd points out this being a 4 is a problem because there's only 2 ways to make 12 and 4, and both of them involve a 1. And we have an awful lot of 1s in the grid, and in particular, the 1s see every cell that this could possibly get to. And so this is definitely a 3. I agree. Okay, this can't possibly be a 4, right? If this was a 4, it would make both of these gray, and that definitely makes orange impossible, because orange could only, even feasibly, with only thinking about the handful of the rules of this puzzle that I remember, could only feasibly get to 5 cells. So this just is a 2, which means that this is rainbow. Which means that this is gray. Just by 2 by 2. Okay, this cell's orange now, regardless of whether orange goes this way or not. Because orange still needs to get to a bunch of cells, so this cell's definitely orange. And now that cell's definitely because yellow needs to get to at least 3. In fact, that cell's also orange because I can't get to orange being big enough without that cell also being orange. Let's see. I need 2 cells that sum to 9 in yellow. If this cell were yellow, is there any combination that works? It would have to be 4, 5 exactly. If instead that was yellow, I could get away with 7, 2, I think. It's true. Orange still grows even more. Because of the branchlessness of our things. Are we sure this is orange? I don't think I'm sure that orange doesn't do something like that. And finish. Oh yeah, this is gray just because nothing can possibly reach it. I can probably finish bordering my 1 cage here. Good spot from Todd. This can't be 7, because if it was 7, it would be these 7, but would also be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And none of these cells can be 1. So that's definitely not a 7. Can I get to 32 and 5 if I've used a 1 and a 5? No, right? This can't be 5, because these 2 would sum to 6. I would need these 3 to sum to 26, and that's way too many. So this can't be a 5. Okay, and if that can't be a 5, then that cell's orange. And we can do some more markering. Yeah, rainbow is certainly just green or yellow. This digit assuredly goes in one of these 2 cells. I'm trying to do like weird irregular Sudoku stuff. Like this digit. Okay, so here's a version of this. This digit, where does it go in this box? This digit only goes in one of those 3 cells, so therefore it's one of these 3 values. But it can't be a 4, so this is only a 6 or a 7, which gives us a weird 6-7 pair in the column. Which means that these cells are, well, in fact, actually, it means that's a 5 or an 8, and that's a 2 for the column. So we're excited by that. Yeah, 2 definitely works for yellow. But it was so exciting, it felt like it was definitely intentional. Okay, so those sum to 14. So I need these 3 to sum to 18. That sounds very possible. I do know one of these is a 2. In fact, one of these 2 is a 2. Oh, I think that's not possible, actually. So these sum to 13, 15, and then 2 more. Can I make the remaining 2 sum to 17? Oh no, I could, because I could make them 8, 9. Darn it. Sorry, I thought it was 16 is what I got the first time, but not quite. I think my math was off by 1 in a way that made things seem exciting when they were not, in fact, exciting. Oh, it's because I forgot about the 1. Right. Okay, no, I was right the first time. So if orange doesn't grow, these sum to 14 plus 2 is 16, which means I need the remaining digits to also sum to 16, but they would have to be 7, 9, and that's not possible. So orange does grow, which means that is orange, and orange is done. Huzzah. Okay, so now this digit is not 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it can be a 5. It can't be a 6 or a 7. And I think it can be an 8 or a 9, I think are the only possibilities. Okay. Hey, Nordy, how are you doing? Glad to have you here. We're getting very close to having another shame cage. By the way, why are you not black? Let's see. Oh, it's being claimed this can't be 5 by math. Ooh, I hope that is going okay for you, Nordy. We do have this like 5, 8-ish combo going on. Okay, let's see. At 11 says if this is a 5, we're going to have problems. Okay, if this is a 5, then that's an 8. Those two add to 13, which means we need these 3 to add to 15. So they would need to be, let's see, I could use a 3, a 4, and I couldn't use a 5 again, or a 6. So 3, 4, 7 I could use. Or 3, 4, 8, I guess is what I'd have. Oh, I'd have to use 3, 4, 8, but I've already used an 8. Boy, that's complicated, but I think you're right, actually. Yeah, I think I need to use 3, 4, 8, and I've used an 8 there. Let's see. At 11 says because 5 would go here? Oh, thinking about the outies. Okay, so if these 3 cells sum to 23. Okay, yeah, so the outies math, I think, makes it easier. If this is a 5, these sum to 23, 25, 31, 32, which makes these sum to 13, but one of them is definitely a 5, and the other would therefore be an 8, which would break this. Okay, I like that enough. I'll take that. Yeah, so this is, in fact, green, which means that this is yellow. It notably has an overlap with what we got. What we got is the ultimate contradiction about using the 5 and the 8, but it was much more computable. Okay, why is it that people are saying Matt Laffey has a point and I can't even see a Matt Laffey comment? Oh, there we go. Okay. Matt Laffey did tell me that 167 added to 14, which was good. I think I have live chat set. I don't see the Matt Laffey comment. Oh yeah, so these are either 4-8 or 5-7, and they can't be 5-7. So these are 4-8. I agree. So that's an 8, and that's a 4. It's not an 8. That's not an 8. Oh, I probably should not make the cage add to 15. People are claiming. Very, very interesting. Interesting if true. These two need to add to 9. Does that sound better? I think these two add to 9. Although that would be an interesting build your own killer variant. Is the cell that's marked gives you the number of other cells in the cage, but is ignored from the total. Anyway, while we design our own build your own killer rules, we actually need these to add to 9, which has to be 5 and 4. So that's not a 5. How about that? That's probably better. There is a 4 in one of these cells. Interestingly, now there's not a 4 in this sum. Does that tell me anything about this sum? So Ilm says it's 369. Oh, okay, right. I've got a 2-cell sum, right? Right. Okay, sorry. There's a 9 in here, so I should definitely be able to do this math. So 8 plus 5 plus 9 is 32. Sorry, no, 22. Which means that the other digits need to sum to 9. And they are not 4-5, they're not 1-8, they're not 2-7, so they are indeed 3-6-9. Agree. Oops. Okay, and therefore this quad has 4-5. Well, I know where the 4 and 5 go. The 4 and 5 are apparently a hidden pair here, I am being told. And therefore, these two cells are 7 and 8. And we actually know the order on the 7 and the 8. Thank you, Sven. Okay, so this is the other 6-9. No, sorry. This is just a naked single. This is just a 2. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 7. It's a 7. There we go. I like to think my main skill as a streamer is making this look hard. Let's see. Box 7 outies. Oh, that's right. I should still do the outie math from this. So these sum to 22, 28. I guess I could have been really cute and just gone straight to 28 because it's the same as those digits. That would have been much cuter. Pretend I did that. So these sum to 28, 29, and therefore the remaining digits need to sum to 16. So they need to be 7 and 9, which makes that a 9 and that a 7, which makes that an 8. Which puts an 8 in this box over in one of these two cells, which resolves that that is a 5, and that's an 8, and that's a 5. That makes this triple, whatever Mark says it is, 3, 4, 8. Putting a 3-4 pair in this row, so that's kind of exciting. Is this really a naked single 1? It's not 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not 6, it's not 7, it's not 8, it's not 9. Yeah, this is really a naked single 1. Okay, and so that is now a naked 2, and that is now a naked 5. So that gives me a 3 and a 2 over there. This is not a 7 anymore. These are a something and a something. They sure are. These are a 6-9 pair. Excellent, excellent. All right, I probably should ask myself what these sum to now, because these sum to 18 plus 6 is 24, plus 4 is 28, which means these two need to sum to 17, so they need to be an 8-9 pair. Also, I know that wasn't an 8, so I could have done that a lot more easily. That would have been better than the thing I did, but we'll just go on and pretend that it all worked out well. Let's see, I can mark this, and if I do that, I will see that this is a naked 9 because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not a 6, a 7, or an 8. This is just a naked 9. We'll take it. We do like proving things in several ways. Then they become even more true. So that is a 7 and a 9. Okay, well this... Oh, maybe it takes... Still take that cell, I guess. So one of these is a 9. Oh, right. The 9 in row 6 is over here because it's not there because of that 8-9 pair, and there's only one spot it can be. So that cell's definitely a 9. I guess I could have said that as a Zackwing on 9s, but I didn't see it as a Zackwing on 9s. But that is what it is. It's a Zackwing on 9s is what just happened. This is a triple. 2, 3, 5. Can the orange clue be 8 then? It would be everything but a 9. Oh, yeah. Very nice, Nordy. Yeah, so now if this is an 8, it's everything but 9, but there's no way this gets to 8 cells without taking one of these 9s. That is a very good spot to Nordy. So now this is missing 3 digits, and those 3 digits sum to 9, and they aren't 1, 2, 6. So it's either missing 2, 3, 4, or it is missing 1. Oh, it's not missing 1, 3, 5. So it is missing 2, 3, 4. So this cell's definitely not orange because it's now the only thing that could be missing, given there's a 6 and a 5 in it, is 2, 3, 4. So we'll go ahead and knock that out. So this is some digit or another. Okay, well, it's a naked 7 now because we said it's missing a 3 and a 4. Okay, so we can fill in this triple. Okay, so this cell isn't orange either because conveniently it is a 3 or a 4. Okay, so now this orange has to back the thing up because it can't get to 6 cells only going forward. And so now either that's a 1 or that's a 1. Yeah, this orange cage is really something. My phone is ringing. It is potential spam. You'll be excited to know. Oh, this is a naked single, I'm being told. That might be helpful. It is a naked single 1. If I notice it's a naked single 1, that helps a lot. Oh, no. Playmaker, you are this close to a heart, but you can't have 2. You just can't have 2 in one puzzle. That's just... I think the phrase is morally reprehensible. So you've got that, and so now that is my last orange. Over there. That is my last orange over here. Now there's no 1 that this could take, so this is a 3-cell cage. We probably know what this digit is if we ask Mark nicely enough. This seems to be a 4. Okay, this cell can't be green, because if it was, I would need a 7 to finish off. And if I wanted to finish with a 7, there's no place I could get a 7 because that cell can't be a 7. So my green cage certainly takes this cell. And now it either takes this cell and it's a 5, or it takes this cell and that's a 0, or it takes these two cells and these two cells are a I don't know what. That would be a 2-5, and that doesn't work very well. So we can note that because these are a 2-5 pair, we can't take them both. So we have to take only one of them, meaning that we get to, as people like to say, solve for x. And therefore, this is a 5. Okay, and now theoretically everything collapses, because if it doesn't, I don't know what we're going to do about it. 3, 8, 9, 6, 9. I guess this is where you put a really heinous classical Sudoku deduction in the end of your puzzle, like a W wing or something. Very nice, but too many shame-aminos. I'm missing a border. Where? Oh no, I don't see it. I don't think I'm missing a border. Unless you want a green border around the whole grid. Oh, yeah, I am. You're totally right. I even when you pointed it out, I didn't see it. But yeah, you're right. There was a missing border there. There was one over down here I caught at the very end. But alrighty, well, nice puzzle. I enjoyed that. Alrighty, I will take a quick break, and I'll be back with yet another puzzle. So see you all in just a moment. Alrighty, welcome back. I guess we do not need dashed lines for this. We are going to do a Sojoiko, what are these called? Equal split lines puzzle. I've been enjoying the equal split lines genre of late, by which I mean I've done one of them on stream and one of them off stream or something like that. But basically, these are like region sum lines, except they use these cute little circles to mark the spaces, and they use a blue that is kind of pleasing. I like it. It looks like the sort of blue that you would find at a paint store, you have to say. So basically, this cell has the same sum as those, has the same sum as those, and then each line has its own sum, whatever that might be. So you could make your own region sum lines by just putting all the circles on the arrows. Okay, so the first thing I see is that this digit's definitely an 8 or a 9. And that's because if this were, well, it's a sum of 3 digits, first of all. But it has to actually be a sum of 3 digits in 2 different ways, because if this were, say, a 6, these would be 1, 2, 3, but these would also be 1, 2, 3. And that's too many 1, 2, 3s in the column and in the box. In fact, we have that this can only be 8 or 9, and we sort of know what the 2 possibilities are. If these are 8, we know what the possibilities are. We know there's at least 1 1 in here. Could be 2 1s, maybe, possibly. Garion sees a length 6 segment. Oh, this rule. Oh, sorry. This equal split line doesn't allow for repeats. Oh, okay. Most the equal split line puzzles I've done before allow for repeats. This one does not. So within okay, that's very strange. But digits cannot repeat within a segment. Okay. So if you read the rules properly, then you see that this length 6 segment. Oh, you're welcome. I didn't realize you were Sujoiko, Neil. That is very cool. I've enjoyed a lot of your puzzles that I've done on stream, and even some I've done off stream. So that's very interesting. So this needs to sum, of course, to at least 21, but as Garion points out, this string up here then needs to be a 3-digit sum in multiple ways, and 24 and 23 are both only done in one way. So these each have to sum to either 21 or 22, which means that these digits are for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they assuredly include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means I know that these digits are from 6, 7, 8, 9, which is maybe going to prove useful, although probably not. And these numbers are, the bottom line has the same thing going on, where this also is length 6 and is equal to a length 3 that can be done in 2 different ways. So this is also a thing. Now, that does restrict this cell quite a bit, because this cell now, that's very cute, can't be 8 or 9. I see. And so now this cell, can't be 8 or 9. And so now this is a set of all the digits from these. That's very weird. I feel like it should not be GDC, but I guess it's up to individual setters. But it feels like if you're going to do slight variation on region sum lines, you shouldn't. I guess you could say that it's a slight generalization on region sum lines, but you can't repeat digits and sums on region sum lines because they're in the same box. And so therefore it's kind of the same, I guess. Anyway, the point is this is a septuple, and therefore this cell sees that septuple, so it's an 8 or a 9. for sure. And one of the sums, because of this 6, 7, one of the sums is 21 and one of them is 22. So that is very nice. I have not seen many in the wild septuples. So that is interesting. Yeah, I guess it all comes down to whether you secretly love or secretly hate the fact that killer cages don't allow repeats. Like I'm definitely in the secretly hating that killer cages don't allow repeats category of things, where it's sort of like it creates this like really bizarre thing when you're learning Sudoku where suddenly people like are constantly asking like, does this rule set allow repeats, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I guess this is now just a quintuple. This is now just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's very cool. Because of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I dislike killer cages for that thing, but I dislike that being part of killer cages for the reason that when people are learning variant Sudoku, then they wonder if they need to state or learn in every single rule whether it allows repeats or not, when that then sort of feels cumbersome. If it were like a completely non-standard variant, then that would be different. Yeah, this rule with find your own dot. I mean, this rule with find your own dots is like the other half of what 10 lines are, because I think 10 lines started as, oh, this is like a region sum line, except you don't know where the region borders are. That was exactly how I started with 10 lines, and I found out that, oh, well, if I tell you the sum, it'll be interesting. And so that's why I picked 10. But yeah, you would, if you said this rule, but I don't tell you the total and I don't tell you where the divides are, then it becomes like an even meaner version of 10 lines. But I mean, I'm into it. I would play that. I was trying to find a cell that saw all of these, but I don't think there's any cell that sees all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. That exists. Okay, so I certainly know that these cells that are part of the 3s, the smallest number I can put in them is 4. So these are from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for sure. Yeah, I like not repeating rules for geometry purposes, so that is something that I do appreciate about this. Like Napners have that, for example, so I can appreciate the sort of geometry stuff from that point of view. And if there are any 8, 9s in here, there's 4s. Sort of, we've got 3, 1, 2, 3s floating around in here. I'm trying to quite wrap my head around what people are saying about this. Like I know there's, oh, I guess I know this is a 1, 2, 3. That's one thing I can say, because there's 2 1, 2, 3s on this line, and where's the other 1, 2, 3 in the row? It's there. Okay, and so now people are saying, okay, where are the 8, 9s in the row? And of course, the 8 and 9 could be together with a 4, or the 8 and 9 could be separate. I do know that there's a 4, 5, or 6 in here. There's exactly 1, 4, 5, 6 in here. Yeah, admittedly, David, when I made Nabner's in the first puzzle, I never intended for it to use it more than once. And so the entire puzzle was about the like geometric repeating stuff with all sorts of bizarrely shaped lines. And only later did I decide, okay, hey, maybe I'll make another of these puzzles, and then I just used the same rules I had before. I wouldn't necessarily say that, yeah, that worked. Yeah, oh, 21 or 22 lines can't have more than one digit from 4, 5, 6, because 5, 6 plus 9 isn't big enough. So yeah, so there's 1, 4, 5, 6 in here, 1, 4, 5, 6 in here, and 2, 4, 5, 6s in here. Or sorry, and 1, 4, 5, 6 in here, sorry. So therefore this number's not 4, 5, 6, basically, because there's one of them in there, one of them in there, and one of them in here. Matt Laffey pointing out this number has to be from 1, 2, 3, because if it isn't, then the 1, 2, 3 in the column go here, and that's not good, because the 1, 2, 3 in the column would then make a sextuple from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I can't do. Okay, that's not my favorite deduction that I've ever made, because I'd much rather have concluded that this was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, but what can you do? It's down to 1, 2, 3. Okay, we do know that both of these numbers show up over here for what it's worth. Okay, Ron's pointing out we know there's a 4, 5, 6 over here at least. There could be 2. Okay, yeah. So, right. So the thing to notice is, Emma, what Emma said got me there, but a couple of people were saying it. There's 2 1, 2, 3s in here, but those 2 1, 2, 3s need to show up on this length 5 line. So therefore, these need to be the 1, 2, 3s that show up over there. And this 1, 2, 3 shows up in one of those. This is definitely making me appreciate the no repeats in the sum rule from the geometry point of view. Like that is doing cool stuff. And so we know that there's a 4 and 5 over here. Okay, so that's big, because now where did the 4 and the 5 go in this column? Well, now the 4 goes in one of these sums. And so therefore one of these sums is 4, 8, 9. None of these sums have a 6 in them, because you can't have 2, 4, 5, 6s. We learned from Garion. And so one of them has a 4 and one of them has a 5. And the fact that one of them has a 4 at all tells you that the sum is 4, 8, 9 is 21. And so this is total 21. So this is total 22. So in particular, there's no 4s. Oh, interesting. Neil says we got there in a very different way than the setter. Okay, so these totals, one of them is 489, and the other is 579, right? And one of these is a 6, we know. Right. So now we know what this is, right? Because, and now I have to be careful. This one sums to 21, and therefore this one sums to 22, and therefore that's a 7, right? And we can bring out Zach for the 7 dance. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So we can, of course, take 7 out of all of these. Okay, we can take 7 out of that cell, I suppose. Okay, so right. So these are just from 1, 2, 3, 6. That's a great way to put that from Jim, because we know there's two 1, 2, 3s and a 6, and that actually means that these are the 7, 8, 9 in the box, funnily enough. This puzzle is creating all kinds of interesting high numbers of ooples. I mean, I've always said I love a good sextuple, but you don't see them super often, but we got another one. Let's see. And Laura points out, Laura's great at spotting these. That gives us a 789 triple. Also, I guess I should also point out, this means this digit's not a 789, because both of those are from 789. And so we can't have 3 789s in our sum, or that would be a big problem. But these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. Right. These two can now be catch-upped, right? Because this digit needs to show up in this, well, this sextuple. So therefore it shows up there. That's a good question from Ron. Where do these two 1, 2, 3s go in row 8? And the answer is these two 1, 2, 3s go here and here. Oh, sorry, not necessarily. Sorry, that's not true, because they could go here and here, annoyingly. It is true, though, that we have that these are now just a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. Oh, right. Sorry, no repeats on segments. So these two actually, we do know where they go. They actually do go there and there. So this is a 1, 2, 3, right? Okay. Yes, good point. Okay. So what else can we do? I know those go up there, so they go down here. It would be great if this were an 8, 9, because it would sort of force them over down here, but who knows? Yeah, 5, 8, 9, or 6, 7, 9. Yeah, I guess there's only two ways to make 22. So that actually does mean that these are the same. And this is the other one. And we know that there's 3 9s in those cells for what it's worth. Sadly, I don't know that this is a triple. Oh, right. And yellow has a 9. That's a good way to put this, that Ron says. Yellow has a 9. I was trying to think about the 3 9s together and trying to figure out if I could draw like rows, columns, or houses or something through them. But what I can instead do is just say, well, neither of these are 9 because one of those is a 9. And therefore, one of these two is a 9, and one of these two is a 9. I don't know how instantly helpful it is, but it sounds like the kind of thing that should be useful. Okay, this digit is the same as that digit. That's what I should say. This digit is the same as that digit. And so that digit needs to go down here, whatever it is. And that, okay, that's big. Okay, that's big because now if those two digits are the same, now these two digits are the same. And now, at long last, these two are the same, and so they have to be 8. Okay. We believe that, right? I think we believe that. Yeah, because that one can't be 9, right? So those are 8s. These are 9s. And these are, oh, I guess I even know what they are now because of that. Because now these two have to be 5s because that's how math works. Okay, and so these are not 5 or 8. It's funny, this is 2 puzzles in a row. I've gotten to do 22 as a sum in 3 both ways. Okay, let's see. This is not a 5. Okay, I guess we can get rid of our purple coloring. Oh, we can get rid of all the purple coloring. We can get rid of all the yellow coloring. We can get rid of our relishing. Ah, 5 in box 9 has magically been placed. Or 5 in this segment, if you want, has magically been placed. So that's a 5. Very good from Mekti. Yes, and 7, Mekti points out, in column 1 can't go in this 3-cell sum, so it's got to go over here. So therefore, this is specifically not a 7. For what it is worth. Okay, we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in row 7 now, and therefore this digit is a 6. And so these are, this is a 7 or an 8 only. Very nice. Garion points out that now I should look at where the 8 is in column 1, and there's only, in fact, one spot for it, which is there. Very good. Which means there's definitely a 1 in here, in one of these 2 cells, and definitely a 1 in one of those 2 cells, so that lets me at least knock some 1s out of some places. Okay, now I know that there's a 6 in this sum. And if there's a 6 in the sum, we said there's definitely not a 4 or a 5 in it. And in fact, we're summing to 21 right over here. This is the one that sums to 21. And so we need the other 2 digits to sum to 15, so they need to be 7 and 8, and there's no 9. I needed to convince myself that 6, 7, 8 was the only way that worked. I was sure it was a way, and I was pretty sure it was the only way, but it took me a minute to figure out how that could possibly be true. But it was because the quote-unquote other way was 669, and 669 is, spoiler, not a way. So that is a 9 and a 7 and a 5 in order to make that work. So now that's a 7. This is a sweet puzzle. I'm really impressed with this this construction. It's an 8 and a 7. Let's see, 9, 8 over there. No 9 over there. We know there's a 9 down there somewhere. Oh, we are meant to spend box 9. To note that one of these two is a 4? Oh, I did. Okay. I was like, what am I not seeing? Oh, no. Okay. So now, right, now that we got the 5 over here, now this is 1, 3, 4. And so if that's a 1, 3, 4, now that's a 2. We do know this is not the 1. And so now this is 1, 2, 5, which, as I recall, is not the way I wanted this to go. But anyway, that's not a 2. So now we've at least got a 3, 4 pair. And so this is a 6 now only, because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 5. It's not 7, 8, or 9. So this is now a naked 6, making this a 7. And that's a 9. It's interesting. I was trying to decide if these had to be different or not. And I didn't quite see why they had to be. And before I could think more about it, we found a different way to get there. But it was a question my brain asked. I just never actually got around to the point where I could answer it. 221s always share a common digit, so that looks at this because of that or something. I can't quite see it, but I'm almost there, I think. Let's see. These two things are a thing. Okay. 8, 8. There's an 8 in exactly one of these two cells. Yeah, we could start coloring 1, 2, 3s now, I suppose. So that 1, 2, 3 is definitely that 1, 2, 3, which makes that 1, 2, 3 that 1, 2, 3. Which makes this 1, 2, 3 into one of those. So this row 8, column 2 is green, because we need to put a green in this box somewhere. That's true. Yeah, so one of these is a 4, and one of them is the other 1, 2, 3, which is to say that 1, 2, 3. Oh, we can Sudoku 7 in box 8. Thank you, Ron. Which does leave us... Oh, there's a 6 in here is the remaining digit, right? One of these two is a 6. I don't think I know where it is yet, though. Am I sure there can't be a 1 in this sum? Oh, yeah, I am sure. Because there's a 9 in these cells, which I hadn't appreciated. Yeah, so the sum here is a minimum of 10, so I can't have a 1 in this sum, because the sum is at least 10, and I can't have a 9 because 1 plus 9 is the only way I could get to the 10. So I agree, no 1. One of these two I know is a 7. Right. I hadn't appreciated that I knew one of these was a 6. But I do know one of these is a 6. And as pointed out, I also know one of these is the 6 for the row. And so we get our Zach wing there on 6s. Looking up at that, yeah, which is what Ilm wrote. Yeah, that's an 8 and a 6. Okay, and so now this total is now at least 11 because there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 that's not on it. So for what it's worth, that takes 2 out of consideration because the only way I could get to 11 with a 2 would be a 2, 9, which I can't do now. Yeah, there is a 6 in one of these two. Oh, this is now just the 6, in fact, in column 8 somehow. I guess the how is just Sudoku, isn't it? So this is a 6. Okay, so now this number is at least 7, and it can only be 7 or 8. So the total here is only, if you look at it, 13 or 14. So it definitely includes a 1. Oh, wait, sorry, no. 14 doesn't necessarily include a 1. Sorry. That's not true. 14 could be 2, 3, 4, 5. I know there's a 7 over here in one of these two just by Sudoku. I know there's an... Okay, there can't be an 8 here. If I look at 8 in this row, an 8 here... Oh, maybe there could be. If I do 8, 1, 2, 3, is that really doable? That would be 14? No. Funnily enough, I can't do that because if this was an 8, that couldn't be an 8, right? If this is an 8, then the total becomes a max of 13. That doesn't work. So actually, that is just the 8, which feels worth pressing on because it's going to get us that none of that stuff is 4. And in fact, actually, when none of that stuff is 4, that's now a 1, 2, 3 triple with a 5. And so this is the other 7, 8 is what has happened. This is not a 4 either. So the 4 on this line is now definitely in this row. In fact, with a 6, right? This is just a 4, 6 pair. And so that's a 9 and a 4 is what has transpired. And now that's a 4 over there. Sorry, if I hit the right digit, it'll work better, as it so often does. Okay. I do know one of these two is a 6. I'm going to mark just because I need a 6 in this column. I was hoping to make that a 4, 6 pair, but I don't think I quite can yet. Yes, we get to do a lot of bouncing, which is always enjoyable. I think bouncing is a technical term for some sort of simple loop deduction or something that I haven't quite understood yet. This is certainly the last 1, 2, 3, 4 for the row, Ron points out. I'm happy to mark that, I think. I guess I should point out that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4. So there needs to be a number on this line that's not from 1, 2, 3, 4. And that number is not a 7 or an 8. So it's only a 5 or a 6. It's not a 9 either. I don't think. 9, 1, 2, 3. No, 9, 1, 2, 3 is too big. Oh, 9 in row 2 is over. In fact, 9 in row 2 is here, Ilm points out. That's very slick because it can't go there and it can't go on this line. So the 9 is over there. And so I now know that this digit, because the total is 13 or 14, Well, the total can't be 13 anymore because this would be a 4, and there's a 4 in this box. So the total has to be 14, which would make this a 5. Very nice. Which makes that an 8 and a 7. Makes that a 2. So you got that. What are these now? These are 7, which goes there, and the other one, which is 3, 4, 5. It's 6, which makes that a 6. Okay, so this is a 6, and 3 numbers that add to 8. Only one of which can be 2. I was looking for something clever to say about this, but I don't think I know it. I mean, I know one of them is 1, that's for sure. Oh, there's only one more 7 in the grid. That would be a good thing for me to fill in. Okay, let's fill in the 7. 9 in box 2 now, because we said it can't go there. 9 in box 2 is now there. Very good. Okay, so these numbers are from, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so... and so, therefore, this number has to be a 5. Because remember, we said these can't be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the only one that can be anything but 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 5. And in fact, actually, if we have to omit one number from 1, 2, 3, 4 and make the sum 14, it has to be the 1. So those are a 3, 4 pair, and that's a 2. That cell C is a 3, 4 pair, so it's a 1. So that is also a 1. So there are no 2s over there, no 1 over down there. This digit is now not a 1. It is a 2 or a 3. Let's see. I can probably work out the math on this line because I'm trying to sum to 14. That's 7. So I need these to sum to 7, which means that this is a 3 or a 4, and it's resolved by the 4, 6 pair. That's crazy. This is quite a bit of setting here to make all of this work out the way that it has worked out. Okay. Oops. Okay, no 4. This is the 4. This isn't a 6 anymore. These are a 1, 2. Okay, so that is a 4. And these aren't 3, so that is a 3 and a 1 and a 3. So that's a 4 over here. So that's a 3, a 1, and a 4. Okay, and so now green is 2. And so orange is 1. Green is also 2 over there, I will reveal. 2, 3, or gray, take your pick. So 1 and 3. And now we will write in these. And so there we get a 1, a 9, a 5, 2, 8, 3, and 1 and 5. Very nice. I think I am convinced by this that it's definitely a good thing to have. I think I would say I'd prefer to have like a split on whether it required or whether repeating was allowed or not. But I think this is definitely a good evidence that it's worth at least contemplating the non-repeating versus repeating ones. As much as my brain is loath to add additional rule sets with none repeating as part of the rules, but this was very cool. Great puzzle overall. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll come back and do a little more puzzling in just a moment. So see you all in just a moment. All right, welcome back. We're going to do some 6x6s. By the way, Jim has been a fan for now 24 months. Let's get Jim a fan dance. Thank you for your support, Jim. Boop 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 doop woo! Boop 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 doop woo! Boop 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 doop woo! 2 years is a lot. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Great having you here. Alrighty, so let's try and understand Math Pesto's puzzle. So normal Sudoku rules apply. Every white cell belongs to a 5-cell region pentomino. Digits may not repeat within a pentomino, and no two pentominos of the same shape, including rotations and reflections, share an edge. The number in a cell with an arrow equals the number of different pentomino regions in that direction, not including the cell itself. If a cell contains multiple arrows, the cell sees the number of pentominos in each direction separately, not all together. Note the cell containing an arrow and the cell it points directly towards can be in the same pentomino. Number of different pentomino regions in that direction. Okay, so we certainly know that these are in the same pentomino. Okay, so this is certainly a 1 or a 2. That's a 1 or a 2. And so this is a 3 is the point, because there's a 1-2 pair, and this is at most 3. So we can draw in 3 different pentominos here. This is also a 1-2. Very good. I was trying to see if I could argue immediately that one of these had to be different, but I'm not sure that I can. So now this is a 3. Very good. Okay, so now we know, and I should put it on my dashed grid again. We know that assuredly these are borders. And so that means that this is part of the red pentomino for sure. Because the red pentomino has to get to 5 cells, and it can't get there down, left, or right. Okay, so now this number is a 2, right? Because, yeah, we could probably do a non-black border. That's probably a good idea. So this number now is a 2, owing to the fact that it sees more than red. Like, these can't both be red. So that number is a 2, which makes that a 1, which makes that a 2, which makes that a 1. So the 1 makes this also green, and that being green makes this also purple. Is there a rule that 2 pentominos can't touch if they're the same shape? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so this number... Oh, I guess that's not super exciting. Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. Okay, so this is a 2. So we know that those 2 are different. This number is at least a 3. Very good spot from Garion. This 2, it's always going to see the purple, and so it can only see the purple, because if it doesn't see the purple is at most 3 cells. So therefore, we know all of that stuff is purple, which then certainly makes these 2 green, which is quite interesting. So, Oh, this 2 up here means that there's certainly a line there, at least, that I have not drawn in. Can this omino that takes these 2 cells possibly be red? And I think the answer is no, because if it was red, it would be an L, and then green would also be an L. So these are some, as of yet, uncolored pentomino. One in box 4 is placed there. And one in box 1 now, if you look up, can't go there because these would all be yellow, and yellow would be huge. So there's a 1. This is also blue, points out Emma, because there's a 1 clue that I did not pay close attention to. Okay, so now this cell needs to be red, because if this cell is not red, red can't get big enough. Can digits repeat within pentominoes? I don't think I saw a rule about that. No, there is a rule. Digits may not repeat within pentominoes. So therefore, that cell can't be red. And therefore, red is F. A surprise first finished pentomino is an F. You don't get that a lot in pentomino puzzles. And so therefore, green is Y. This digit is that digit for what it's worth. And now purple can't be Y because it's touching a Y. And so purple is either a T or a P. So we've got that. This can't be blue because if this is blue, then this is nothing. So that has to be blue, actually. So this is, I guess, 4 or 5, because it can't be a 3. Oh, I can count that this digit is a 3, Ron points out. As well as several others. This number is at least a 4 and most a 5, so therefore that number is a 6, just by magic. One of those 2 is a 3. This is the other 4, 5, for what it's worth, because it sees everything except 4 and 5. It's that 4, 5, I suppose. One of these is a 2, and the other is the other 4, 5. Okay, so this cell, oh, no, it's not that cell, sorry. I was thinking that cell saw a 4, 5 pair, but no, it sees the same 4, 5 twice, which is not the same as seeing a 4, 5 pair, tragically. Though if you only knew how many of my puzzles have been ruined by my failing to notice that seeing the same 4, 5 twice is not the same as seeing a 4, 5 pair, you would cry slightly. Let's see, these are 4, 5, 6. I guess I know one of these 2 is a 6. One of these 2 is a 2. That's the point. One of these 2 is a 2, and so David points out, therefore, this can't be purple, because purple already has a 2, and therefore that is purple, and we can look at that. Okay. This cell does see the 4, 5 pair, Emma points out, because it sees that 4, 5 and that 4, 5. So therefore, this cell is the 6. Those are my 4, 5. This is a 2, 4, or 5. These are 2, 6, I suppose. Pink doesn't have a 3. So we know that its digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are... so that's the other 4, 5. Oh, sorry. So it does have a 6. Sorry, I don't know how I did this wrong. Pink doesn't have a 3, so it does have a 6. And therefore, that is a 6. I can digit, I swear. So these are 2 and the other 4, 5, probably. So yeah, so those are a 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, 6 in box 2. Red already has a 6, so that's the 6. Okay, so this is a naked 2, right? Because it's not 1, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So that's a naked 2, which makes that a 2. So that's the other 4, 5. And that's a 3. Because there is a 4, 5 pair in the row, Ron. So these are a 1, 6. Yeah, we could OX 4, 5s. That's probably worth doing. Let's do it in red this time. X, O, O, X, X, O, X. Sadly, I'm not sure that helped as much as I'd fantasized about. Oh, there's an arrow here, which is nice. Yeah, there's 2. I guess there's 2 arrows. So one of them is a 5. And Garion is suggesting that if this one's the 5, it's a big problem. Because if this one is a 5, then what that forces is that each of these is its own start of a pentomino. However, that breaks before you even finish, because you get this going down and this going down and this going down, and you get sort of the I sort of issue. But in fact, actually, you run into purple before you even do that. So this can't possibly be a 5. So it is a 4. And that's a 5. So we do squeeze in all the borders that we can here. Okay. It sort of makes me feel like there's a W sort of thing going on, but I guess whatever this is, it definitely connects up. Because if it doesn't connect up, it can't get to nearly enough cells. And in fact, it actually needs to connect up again, because if it doesn't connect up again, then we have issues because, again, it's forced to do that, which it can't do. So that connects up again. It's probably an I. Oh, I'm being told I should count this because it's either 3 or 4, and it can't be 4. So it's a 3. I kept being like, I don't know if these are in the same omino or not, but I do now know they're in the same omino. People are actually saying you can count it and do Sudoku at the same time, and that my brain was not quite registering. These are, that's a 3. And that's a 2, Laura points out. 6 and 2. 1 and 6. And so now that's a 5 and a 4 and a 5. Let's see. So that's a 1. And that is a 4. Yeah, we've got to be careful. We've got to finish our coloring somehow. Okay, so annoyingly, this can still be an L, I guess. Okay, this can't go up. That's huge because that would connect a 2 to a 2. So this 2, whatever it is, it definitely goes up. But it can't join this other thing because of known borders. So that now means okay, so now I see a PWI solution, but I'm trying to make sure I convince myself that I really know that there's nothing else that I could possibly do. There's only 4 cells that this could possibly see, is the point. Because this can't join yellow. And so the only cells this can possibly take are that, and that's 5 cells. So let's just make that orange. And we can border orange. And so now we've got our yellow is now forced to take these. Like that. And now we W our way around. We'll repeat blue, I suppose, since I think I usually underuse blue. And that is a 4. Very nice. The Pentomino part was quite tricky there, actually. Let's see. Oh, we've got an old 6x6. Excuse me. We've got an old 6x6 in the bucket by MicroStudy that I haven't done. It's been a little bit since I've seen MicroStudy around, but hopefully they're well. Okay, the periwinkle and marigold lines are either ratio lines or consecutive lines. 2 adjacent digits along a ratio line must have a 1-to-2 ratio. 2 adjacent digits along a consecutive line must be consecutive. Digits may repeat along lines if allowed by other rules. All the lines of the same color are of the same nature, and lines of different colors are of different natures. Okay. So one color is like black dot lines, and one color is black dot lines. So we do know 5 never shows up on a ratio line. So So I guess if gold is five, or if gold is the consecutive one, then we've got fives in like each of these spaces. So the point is, we can't quite rule out that purple is black dot line, because this could be 1 2 4, and then this could be 3 6 3. But always one of these is 1 2 4, so this is always 3 5 6 is what some folks are pointing out. Yeah, this is definitely 1 2 4. It's certainly not a 1, because if it was a 1, then I would have to put a 2 next to it in both places. And I don't think it could be a 2 either, actually. I think it's actually just a 4, because 2 would either go to 1 or 4. It's a 4. Yeah, 2 can't be in the middle of the, or 2 is in the middle of the 1 2 4 line, I suppose. So now one of these is a 2 and one of these is a 1. And the other one that's not a 2 has to be a 5. And the other one that's not a 1 has to be a 6. If you just look at it, it's got to be a 4 5 6 and a 4 2 1. And so therefore that digit is a 3. Okay, so there's a 3 over there. Okay, so this whole row is either 1 2 3 or 3 5 something. 3 5 6. Yeah, that's the universes that I'm looking at. If this is 1 2 4, then this is a 5 6 pair and has no choice, right? Because if this is 1 2 4, these two need to be consecutive and they can only be 5 6. If this is 4 5 6, then all I know is there's definitely a 2 in here. And so these are either 5 6, I guess, or these are from 1 2 3. So I guess I have very boldly demonstrated that these digits are never 4 in either cases. Okay. Why can't this be a 1? Oh, right. If this is 4 5 6, then this is black dot. Right. So there's never a 3 here. Right. So this actually did do something, which is to guarantee that the 3 is over here. So this is a 2 4 or 6. And so this is a 1 3 or 5. So if this is 1 2, then this is 4. And if this is, this is always 4. Yeah, this digit's always 4. That's very cute. Because this is either 1 2 4 or 5 6 and 4, and it can't be 5. I can't repeat. It won't work. So no 4 there. And so that can't be a 5. It's only a 1 or a 3. And so, yeah, so this is either 2 or 5. It's not 1 or 6. And then this is either 1 or 6. It's not 2 or 5. As we continue around the world. Is this always the 5? So if this is 3, 6. Oh no, then this could be 1, 2. Oh, then this could be 1, 2. Okay, can I ever actually put a 5 on this line? It would have to be 5, 6, and I can't do that, right? So there's never a 5 on this line, because if there were a 5, this would have to be a white dot line, which would be 5, 6. Except if this is a white dot line, oh, never mind. Sorry, my brain was flopping too many times. Sorry, it is in fact okay. Yeah, so this can either... Yeah, this can be a 5, 6 in that instance. And this can be a 1, 2 with a 3, 6. Okay, interesting. So basically, I mean, I know this digit's definitely odd because whatever kind of line this is, I definitely burn both of the remaining evens. So this is certainly always 1, 3, or 5. And I think chat via Ilm is claiming that the 1 option doesn't actually work. Because if this is a 1, then yellow has to be white dot, and so this is black dot, and then that puts a 5 on a black dot, so I can't do that. Yeah, the line can absolutely be 3, 2, 3. Let's see. I know there's a 4 over there. I know there's a 5 in row 1 somewhere, and it's not in one of these two places. And I know one of these can't be a 2, but the other thing could be a 2, presumably. Yeah, I was wondering if there's something I can color here that will win the day. Annoyingly, this could have a 3 on it, so this could... Let's see. Can this... I'm trying to think if I can say anything coherent about this. Ambrose says this digit's definitely even, because if it's odd, then both of these are even, and that's too many evens for the row. I agree. I'm trying to understand Garian's point about this being 1. Yeah, so this is definitely odd for what it's worth. This is always a 1 or a 5. Because the only even pair is on the black dot and it's 2-4, but this can't be a 4. Oh, this could be a 2. Sorry, this could be a 2. Or odd. Uh, yeah. If this is a 2, then we know Pink Maple points out, then we know that these are from 1, 3, 4. However, that would be 4 1, 3, 4s in the row. That doesn't work. So this is only a 4 or a 6. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You made noise.
You did not make enough noise. Let's see. So if this is a 6, then one of these is definitely a 3. Oh yeah, this can't be a 1 anymore, right?
Not the biggest jump scare I've given Zeta on stream.
Not yet. No. There was the time you like carefully set up a curtain and everything, so you could really get me. I recall that. Okay.
Just wait until I intentionally give you a jump scare.
Oh no. Let's see. So if this is a 6, this is a 3 or a 5. If this is a 4, this is a 2 or a 5 or a 3. Okay, so this is always from 2, 3, 5. Okay, so agree about that being from 2, 3, 5. So these certainly can't go 2, 3 is one consequence of this. See, David says a 2-3 pair would break both options for these because these are either. Okay, so now the two options are that these are 1, 2, or they're 3, 6. If these are 1, 2, then this is definitely a 5. I don't understand what people are doing yet. So if this is 1, 2, 4, these would be 2, 3, 5. And this would be a 4. And you can't connect 4 to 1, 2, or 4. Wait, no. Sorry. You'd have to connect the thing to. Oh, sorry, 3, 5, 6. Right. Okay, I understand now. Yeah. So if this is 124, then this is 124. But the 124 digits only black dot each other. And so you couldn't fill in any black dot. There we go. Okay, I now understand what Garion understood 10 minutes ago. If this is 124, it just insta breaks with how this box works, because 124 here would make for 124 up here, and then there's nothing to black dot down below. So this can't be 124. And that was the only way that this was a 1. So this is a 3. That's a 5. And now that's a 2-5 pair, and so that's a 6. And so we get our dots resolved now. So now this is black dot, so that's 2, 1. And this is white dot, so that's 5, 6. So that's 5 and 2. Which happen to not both connect to 6, but to 4. That is a 6 and a 5. So let's go ahead and paint the world in pencil marks, as they say. So this is a 1, a 3, and a 6. Okay, so this thing needs to white dot a 5 or 6, so it had better be a 4 white dotting a 5. So yeah, yellow is always white dot. So that's a 2. That has become a 3 with a 2 and a 1 and a 1 and a 2 and a 4 and a 6 and a 5. 2, 4, and 1. Excellent, excellent. Very enjoyable 6x6 there. Let's see if we can do one more. Let's see. Let us do an Ambrose puzzle. Ambrose is even here. Let us do Little Noisy Neighbors. In the candy puzzles, the yellow dots are the white pretty consistent. I haven't noticed that. That is very cool that you have noticed that. Okay, let's see. So outside clues give the sum of all orthogonal neighbors. Oh, it's nosy. Sorry, nosy neighbors. All orthogonal neighbors of the nth cell from the clue in its row or column, where n is the number in the cell closest to the clue. Okay, so I'm guessing this 5 is going to need to be a 1 or a 6, because you can't get to 5 with 4 things. So basically, if this were a 2, I would be summing all of those cells, and that's too many cells. So I think this is a 1 or a 6, but I think it actually can't be a 6. Or sorry, I can't think it can't be a 1, because if it's a 1, it would be summing these cells, and that would be too many. So I think this is a 6. And now we're saying that these 3 cells sum to 5. So this one's only ever able to be a 1 or a 2. If it's a 2, then these are a 1, 2. And if it's a 1, they're a 1, 3. So we get that. Okay, we have a similar concern here with this 13. I certainly can't make this a 1. Oh, right. There's always a repeat in the sum. So this can't be the 3, right? So these are always both from 1, 2. So, okay, so this is not a 6. It's not a 1. Can this be a 2? If this were a 2, we'd be saying these 3 digits summed to 13 would be a 2, a 6, and a 5. That seems to work. What about 3? If this is a 3, then now these can be at most 4, 5, 5, which is 14. That's enough. I'm being told this isn't a 1. Somehow breaks the 8? Yeah. Right. If this is a 1, then I need to make these 3 sum to 8 without using a 1. That's very cute. Okay, very nice. So this is only a 2 or a 3. And in fact, because of Garian's note, these two are the same number. And so their sum is even, so this number needs to be odd. And so Garian actually gets us all of that. Very, very nice. Okay, so our 5 is done. And now we can contemplate the fact that that these cells now sum to 8. Okay, assuredly these two sum to at least 3, so these sum to at most 5, so these are certainly from 1 to 4. Now, if this is a 4, that's going to be a big problem because it's going to force this to be a 1 with a 1, 2. That's not going to work. I guess here's the better way to say it. These 3 sum to at least 6, so therefore this is at most 2. Yeah, as David says, do it by the box, and now these need to be 1, 2, 3. So we can do that. Okay, so this is now 4, 5, or 6. I guess all of these are 4, 5, or 6. That one's not a 6. In fact, this is the other 2, 3. This 2, 3. This is the other 4, 5 for the column. Yes, the 1 is placed up here. Very good. It seems to me like we could do this against a border or not against a border, and it would be okay. Oh, column 2 needs a 6. That's a great point. It goes there. Okay, so now it's one of these. So these are a 2, 3, and 6. 1, 4, 5. That one's not a 1. I can effectively consider this clue done. It's a very neat little construction here. Yeah, so now it's definitely 4 digits. If it's that one, then we've got 2 4 5s, which would sum to at least 8, plus 2 other numbers, which is fine. It could be a 2 2. Yeah, 4 4 2 2 is what it seems very possible to me. Wait, except that was in the hypothetical where this is a 4. So what I said is if this is a 4, then these digits have to be 4 4 2 2. Well, that doesn't work. Because those digits can't in that universe be 4 4 2 2. So this has got to be a 5. Is the consequence of that. And so now it's these digits that sum to 12. Okay, so these two sum to at least 5. So these two sum to at most 7. Oh, it's probably worth noting that these are a 4 5 pair, so that's not a 4. Right, it's one of these two. So if this is a 3, can we get there still? 5 plus 3 is 8. Yeah, we could throw another 5 there. That seems okay. It's because if this is a 3, then that's a 2. I keep doing the same mistake again. If this is a 3, then I can't put a 3 there. So if this is a 3, then the maximum here is 7, plus 5 is 12. That doesn't work. So this is a 2, and that's a 3. Very nice. And so now this is the other 4, 5. No, sorry. This is... I need these to be... I need these to be 10. Oh, no, sorry. It's this digit. Sorry, it's this digit. These need to sum to 13. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong place again. So that is 8 plus 5 is 13. Let's see what else we can dream up. Okay, so this digit is definitely even, which seems like the sort of thing that would be useful to have floating around here. Can this really be as large as a 6? I guess if this is 1, 2, 3, that can be a 6, huh? Yes, this can't be a 6 because of that's very clever. If this is a 6, then we repeat 6 in blue, and then we need 2 zeros to go with it. So that's not a 6 for sure. So similarly, if this is a 2, then we get a second 2 in blue, and then we need the other things to add to 8, which would have to be 3 and 5. That's a good spot from Jim. I really need 2 odd digits in here because I can't make all of these even, because if I make all of them even, then 2, 4, 6 is already 12. So I need 2 odds, and those odds are 3 and 5. Or sorry. Well, one of those odds is a 3. Let's start there. Because the only cells that can be odd are if that's a 3, and then this one has to be odd, so that's a 1 or a 5. So one of these is a 3. So if I make it 3 plus 1, then I could do 6 plus 2. If I make it 3 plus 5, that doesn't work, right? 3 plus 5 is required. Oh, no, 3 plus 5, I could do 2 and 2. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. 3 plus 1 doesn't actually work. I think I did this backwards. If this is 3 plus 1, then I need the outies to be 2 and 6, which breaks that cell, is the problem. So yeah, I can't do 3 and... I can't do 1 and 3, because this cell is not involved, right? So 3 and 1 actually doesn't work. It's 3 and 5 that does work. And so if these are 3 and 5, then it's 3, 5, and 2 and 2. So that's a 6, and that's a 2. So then we get our 6, 4, 4, 3, 1, 5, 6, 4, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2. Very cute puzzle. Never seen anything quite like that. I guess it's kind of vaguely in the realm of 9 rooms. Uh, uh, Alrighty, let's see. I probably got time for one more. Uh, uh, let's do arrow the ninth. Fill the grid using 6 of the digits from 1 through 9 so that no digit repeats in any row, column, or box. And digits along arrows sum to the digit in the connected circle. So I guess, first of all, I know there's 9s in the grid, so I can sort of say I know there's a 9 over there. I know there's a 9 over there. I was hoping to be able to place the 9 in this column, but I can't quite. I suppose these length 4 arrows are rather rough, because I've got to make sure that these things are from 1, 2, 3. So we actually know all of 1, 2, and 3 are in the puzzle, because we need 2 of 1, 2, 3 here, and 1 of 1, 2, 3 there. So this number is a 4, 5, 6. Is the sorry, do I know that? Sorry, I guess I know it's a 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 is I guess what I know. Assuredly one of these digits is a 1, and assuredly one of these digits is a 1. So one of these digits is a 1. Oh yeah, row 3 assuredly doesn't have any 7, 8s in it. Good point, because these numbers are just definitely from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know all of 1, 2, and 3 are in. We know 9 is in. And then we've got 2 of 4, 5, and 6 are in. So if there's no 7 or 8, then we know that this is either... Oh, no, this can't be 4, 5, because we know there's only 2 4, 5, 6s in the puzzle. And so if this were 4, 5, then it would break that cell. So this can't be 4, 5, and it can't be 2, 8. Or sorry, 2, 8. Can't be 1, 8, or 2, 7, because 7 and 8 aren't in the puzzle. So that leaves the only option is that this arrow is 3, 6. So that arrow is, funnily enough, 3, 6. That's really elegant. Okay, so we've got a 1 over on one of these sides, which I thought was going to be useful, but maybe it's not. And so I think this arrow also has to be 3, 6, because I think the exact same argument basically applies. I don't have... I mean, I wasn't wrong. That's true. The 9 arrow can't be 2, 8. Good. So yeah, I think this also has to be 3, 6, because I know I don't have enough 4, 5s in the puzzle. So we've got a bunch of 3, 6s. So this is not a 3 anymore. Right. Therefore 6 is in the puzzle, so therefore it's in box 4 somewhere, is chat's point, and therefore this is a 1, 2, 6 arrow, which seems to make that a 3, which makes these a 1, 2, 3, and these a 1, 2, 3 by math. Which makes... Oh, sorry. I know which one is a 6. It's that one. That's the 4, 5. So we can just keep track. There's a 4, 5 over there. 1 does indeed look right. So that is a 2 and a 6 and a 1. Very good from Jim. That 3, 6 looks down, making that a 1, a 2, and a 3. I fear that can be a 6. Uh, this is very nice. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with it. Whatever that digit is, it has to repeat down here by earlier trickery. If there's no repeats on this arrow, it sums to too much. And so that therefore cannot be a 2 because I know none of these are 2. So it has to be a 1. And so now these need to sum to 8, and so they can only be 1, 3, 4, which means that indeed red is 4. Very nicely. So this digit can only be 4 or 6, unless it's 9. However, 6 doesn't work because then that would make this a 2 and a 1, and that doesn't work. So this has got to be a 4. And this is the other 2, 3, like that. So that's a 1 and a 2. This is a really impressive puzzle. 6 and a 3, 3 and a 6. And I think now we are done with the rest of the puzzle. And Sven has kindly made it so that the pencil marking works. That was great. That was amazing. I really liked the 3, 6 can't be 4, 5 because that would put too many digits in the puzzle. Alrighty. I am going to wrap up stream a little earlier for today. Just on account of traveling for SudokuCon and leaving at like 2 a.m. in 2 days. I'm going to try and get a little bit of rest. But thank you, everyone. I look forward to meeting many of you at SudokuCon, and I promise for those of you who cannot make it to this Giant Sudoku convention that I will be back on stream and not too terribly long. Safe travels to everyone else who's traveling, and I'll see you all real soon. If you want to support the stream, we greatly appreciate everyone who does support the stream. You can click the little dollar symbol on YouTube, which you can do either on an Android or do by going into your web browser into YouTube. If you do find out the details about the stream link for SudokuCon, someone, you should post them over in the zetamath Discord just so people can follow along. I know there is streaming for it, but I don't understand exactly the rules and everything for it, so I don't yet know what to tell you. But anyway, huge thank you to all the supporters. Jim has been supporting for 2 years now, which is crazy. Thank you so much. And last but not least, thank you to the Turbines, Daniel, David, Franco, Nell, Nordy, Plonktime, and Tyson. Thank you so much. I'll see you all real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.